We started Rise Up at PHI in 2009 with the belief that girls and women are powerful and that by supporting local leaders to create change, gender equity and justice is possible. So since 2009, we've now grown our Rise Up network to include over 750 leaders who've been able to advocate for 120 laws and policies impacting 135 million people around the world. And what that means is increasing girls and women's access to healthcare, making sure that girls can finish school, that women and girls are safe from violence and can access economic opportunity to lift themselves and their families and their communities out of poverty. One of the leaders who I'm deeply inspired by, who's part of Rise Up, is Nsini Udonta, who joined Rise Up in 2020. Nsini, when we met her, was working in a domestic violence shelter. She herself was a survivor of gender-based violence. And when she became part of Rise Up, Nsini realized that in addition to the 200 women she was supporting in the shelter where she worked, she could do so much more for millions of women in Nigeria. And so as she learned about advocacy, she realized that one of the big challenges that women who are struggling with violence in Nigeria are facing is that they don't have access to justice within the judicial system. So what happens often is a woman is struggling with violence at home. She'll make a claim to the police, and that claim will sit in the judicial system for weeks, months, and even up to years on end. And during that time, things continue to get worse at home, and many of these women are forced to flee for the sake of their own lives. And so what Nsini did was advocate for fast-track legislation so that now when a woman files a claim, that claim has to be responded to within 72 hours. So was able to go from reaching a couple of hundred women in the shelter where she still works today to having legislation in place that protects the rights of 4.5 million women and girls in Nigeria.